Hey there, squad. This is a version of a beta preso that I give that I would love your feedback on. And the point of the preso is to show people that phase 3 of the journey is real and why they should want it. But it's saying that in a metaphor that ties back to the 3-layer cake as well as ties into our products. So I like to start by telling people, hey, you know, phase 1 of the journey, all about consolidation and containment, high five. You know, we all love that. We all save some money. Most of our customers are in the early stages of phase 2. They've done some management and automation stuff, some. And they've saved some money there operationally and maybe even a little bit of capital with stuff like DR. That's pretty sweet. That's great. But it was never really the true point. The true point was always phase 3. Because, you know, to do phase 3, you have to recognize the drivers. The drivers that I like to talk about with the customer are 2 things, and I'm shamelessly stealing from Merritt's here, but I love how he said it. It's software as a service, whether you're consuming it as a user or you're creating it within your own platform for people to consume, and it's the mobile revolution. You know, everyone has a phone computer. Those 2 things, phone, computers, and SaaS, are dragging the world into a cloud-based model, whether you want to go or not. And the distinction of hosted, hybrid, internal, really not important at this point. But the key thing is in order to best serve those forces, you need to be playing with us in all 3 layers of the cake, and especially, frankly, in the first 2. You could be doing View and not really in phase 3, I get that, but let's save that for another time. I'd like to give an example of how we can do that in a way that we present to the customer. So what I'd say to the customer is, you know, Mr. Customer, you know that we are the kings of virtual infrastructure. No one does a better job looking up from the bottom into your infrastructure than us, whether it's CPU, memory, now storage and networking to an extent, pretty sweet. And we've done almost everything I think you can do in order to shuffle pieces now and make your virtual infrastructure better. But in order to serve that mobile revolution and that SaaS need best, you have to be looking from the application side down, which is what we're really doing here. And we all know this is a 1-0 effort from us. We're going to buy a lot of companies. The story is going to evolve. But the key message to take is that we need to play in this space in order to serve that inevitable force that we've hopefully agreed on. One example of how you could do that today with technologies that we have that would be a phase 3 activity. Let's think of a user example. So we've got a user out here in user land on a phone who needs a web page. Well, what would that look like? The web page is probably hosted on vSphere, hopefully TC server, but even if it's not the end of the world. Maybe it's JBoss. But fundamentally, it's being served by vCloud, and it's got Edge in front of it. The nice thing is we've got Hyperic monitoring it, which is important because that has vCenter integration. And it's important because it watches the infrastructure not from a journey steps 1 or 2 way, i.e. what's being consumed from an infrastructure perspective, but it watches at what's being consumed from a user perspective, all about phase 3. So let's say we've got Edge with vCloud instantiated, and we've got a load balancer up, we've got 2 web servers, and I love to stress that this is all today technology. I'm not selling you tomorrow. Using Hyperic, we're monitoring those web servers, and we know that each one can take 1,000, I'll say, HTTPS sessions before giving it more virtual infrastructure doesn't do any good. What I'd like to do then, when we're at 2,001 sessions, is stand up a 3rd web server. Hyperic is going to know through its agent that these 2 are going underwater. It's going to call Virtual Center, instantiate that 3rd web server automatically. And when the user load goes down, we can shut it off again. That isn't just about saving you money the way we did with capital in phase 1 and increasingly operationally in phase 2. That is doing the Holy Grail. It is making you a more profitable business by dynamically responding to demand. That, to me, is what we need to be selling in the phase 3 journey. Saving money is great, and we need to keep doing it. It's one of our 3 core principles, is always be saving. But the 3rd one is the most important one, be more agile. As we try to grow up as a company, we want you to grow with us, however you want to spin that message. That's really the key. This is just a draft, but I would very much like your feedback on the goods and bads of this and your thoughts. Thanks.